In 1969, humans stepped on the moon for the first time, sparking wonder and talk of aliens. In 2009, the Kepler telescope launched to find planets suitable for life. As Earth's population reached 6.5 billion, the future darkened. By 2163, a U.S. Army unit landed on a distant planet where life already existed, while back on Earth, water ran dangerously low. By 1740, humanity neared a massive war over the last resources. Their final hope was Elysium, the largest and most advanced spacecraft ever built, carrying 60,000 people toward planet Tennis for a new beginning. The long journey continued as everyone slept, watched over by 3 awake crew members. 8 years later, they received a devastating message. Earth was gone, Elysium was now home, and Tennis awaited, before the signal cut off. Many years passed, and now a man awakens from a sleep pod, struggling to control his heartbeat. His name is Bauer, the corporal of the spaceship crew, but his most memories are lost. After hours, he recalls they were on a mission through space. He then notices the ship's power failing, flickering online now and then, and one of those rare surges is what woke him up. The ship was dark and silent, and Bauer moved through it alone until another man eventually woke up, unable to remember anything at first, just like him. Slowly, he recalled that they were part of a space mission. Bauer tried contacting the rest of the team, but no one else responded and the ship's power kept failing. Peyton explained that the reactor should have restarted automatically, but now they had to activate it manually. The remaining power wouldn't last, and if it died, the ship would drift forever in space. The doors only opened automatically, making it nearly impossible to reach other chambers, so the only way out was through the ventilation system. Earlier, Bauer had noticed a crew member missing from their assigned pod, someone who likely tried to escape the same way. Terrified, mentally foggy after sleeping for over 100 years, he still forced himself through the narrow pipes, urged on by Peyton. At the end, he discovered the decayed corpse of that missing teammate, dead for years. Shaken, Bauer contacted Peyton again and reported they'd found their crew member. He had ended up in the wrong chamber. As Bauer continued through the ship, he spotted a girl, but she ran away. He shouted for her to stop and followed her, only to witness a horrifying sight, a human corpse hanging by wires. Before he could react, someone attacked him from behind. Confused and terrified, he realized the girl was holding a knife to his throat. She stole his shoes and supplies, then fled. Suddenly, strange noises echoed through the dark, something approaching. Hidden, he saw a creature dragging the dead body away. Panicked, he reported this to Peyton, explaining it looked like hunting. Peyton calmed him and revealed information pulled from the ship. This craft is Elysium, carrying 60,000 humans to planet Tennis on a one-way trip, but they had slept far longer than planned and now the ship was off course. Hearing this triggered Bauer's memories. When he was a child, probes confirmed life on Tennis, and the news called it humanity's new home. He remembered his family, his wife in the cargo section, and feared for her safety. He asked Peyton if he remembered anything, but Peyton insisted their priority was fixing the ship and saving everyone. Bauer realized he had no idea how massive the ship truly was. Finding their families could take months, but if they got the system back online, it would be much easier. Peyton navigated using the main computer, but now, sensing danger ahead, equipped an advanced weapon mounted on his arm. Along the way, they argued about a psychological disease called Pandorum, which can strike anyone during long space travel, driving victims insane. Peyton reminded him that because of Pandorum, 5,000 people once died when a crew member went mad after waking, killed his team, activated an evacuation, and sent everyone into space in their pods. They vanished into the void just by a single button press. The thought terrified Bauer, worried it could happen to them too, but Peyton assured him they were fine and had a duty to save others. As they continued, Bauer noticed his hands trembling, but pushed forward. Meanwhile, someone was secretly following him, not a creature, but a human. Eventually, Bauer reached a tunnel and found another person tied to wires, but still alive. He informed Peyton that something was cutting into him and decided to free the man. Once rescued, the terrified survivor didn't care about protocol. He warned that the creatures were incredibly powerful, dangerous, and hunting them. Before the survivor could explain more, terrifying sounds echoed, and both men ran. Bauer fired his weapon, but too many creatures swarmed, forcing them to hide. The beasts caught the other man and ate him alive as Bauer watched in horror. He slipped, falling deep and getting tangled in wires, until another man, Man, appeared, cut him free, and saved him. Man didn't speak English, but understood when Bauer said the ship's reactor was unstable and had to be fixed manually. Elsewhere, Peyton lost contact and heard strange noises. Calling out into the dark, Bauer and Man reached a cargo chamber where the same girl, Nadia, attacked, knocking Bauer down. Man fought her, and when Bauer recovered, He used his weapon, angrily saying everyone was just trying to survive. He told her the ship was failing, but Nadia whispered that he had no idea what was happening. Creatures hunted by sound, and they had to stay silent. The Rivers warned that activating the reactor won't change anything. If he goes, he won't return. Nadia says they're heading the wrong way. He follows her to a chamber, but the door won't open without power. Mutant creatures approach, and Nadia yells to hurry. At the last second, the door opens and they rush inside. Nadia explains she's from the genetic team. They combined human embryos with animal DNA to rebuild life. Years ago, she came with 5 others, but the creatures killed everyone, leaving her barely alive. She shows thousands of preserved embryos and warns that the reactor is down, the generator only at 30%, and if it fails, everything will be lost. It took her months to remember, while the girl recalled faster, though she still can't remember her birthplace or siblings. Nadia leads them toward the reactor. Meanwhile, Peyton meets a man crawling through a vent who helps him. His story will shock her later. Deep below, they pass the reactor chamber with sleeping engineers. The husband searches for his wife, but she's gone. Suddenly, the creatures ambush the train. The team fights back with everything they have. In the end, they kill the creatures, but the others hear the noise, exposing their location. A man wakes from a sleeping pod, only to be attacked and eaten alive by the cannibals while Bauer watches helplessly. The 3 survivors flee and reach a chamber where a man has lived for years. He can't remember anything but explains that after the last message, their commander went insane and killed everyone. Bauer realizes the sickness can infect anyone. The man warns Bauer he might go mad too, but Bauer refuses to give in. Then the truth comes out. These creatures aren't aliens. They were humans injected to adapt to the planet. Something went wrong, activating early in some pods, and when they emerged, they'd fully adapted to the planet, losing their humanity and becoming deadly predators. Land explains that years ago, when Earth's final message arrived, 3 were awake while thousands slept. The message said everything was over, and one officer lost his mind, killing his crew. Alone, he began experiments, waking people and turning some into mutants. With no food, they hunted each other and humans, creating a cannibal species. The man treated it like a game, then later returned to his pod. He claims he tried to control things, insisting it was survival, not hatred. Bauer urges him, the ship is dying and they are the last hope. If fixed, they can end the monsters and save humanity. The man joins their mission. They descend deeper. Bauer loses contact with Peyton, who warns time is running out. Systems will shut down, but Bauer presses on. Peyton gives a location, though he's distracted. The wounded show signs of Pandorum, and Peyton warns every sleeping pod must be checked. There's no other choice. But Peyton doesn't listen and locks him in a sleeping pod. Gallo grows furious, demanding to be released. Bauer remembers his wife, long left on Earth, which troubles him deeply. They reach the reactor chamber, only to find creatures have taken it over. Their numbers are so vast that any mistake could be deadly, though they're asleep for now. As the team advances, a broken bridge makes Bauer fall, but luckily no creature sees him. Slowly, he climbs back up with Mon and Nadia's help. Suddenly, all the creatures awaken, chasing him relentlessly. Despite the danger, Mon manages to restart the reactor, stabilizing the ship's power. But when it opens, many creatures awaken. Humans turned monsters long ago due to failed experiments. The team flees, but man confronts a creature, fights bravely, and is ultimately killed. Another chamber door opens, the power stabilizes, and the sleeping pods release their occupants. Now, the fight is on, and it's Peyton against the creatures. Soon, it becomes clear that Peyton himself went mad after receiving the final transmission. He killed everyone and began seeing himself as a god. When memories return, he's no longer Peyton, but a dangerous, unhinged force. Somehow, Bauer and Nadia survive, reaching the deck while avoiding him. Peyton confronts them, insisting this is their new world. No governments, no owners, no rules. They must shape it themselves. When asked where they are, Peyton reveals only darkness. Nadia realizes the stars are gone. They've drifted into the depths of interstellar space with no hope of escape, but then she notices fish in the water. This isn't space, it's an ocean. Centuries earlier, humans had landed on the planet, but failures left the ship damaged and the rest asleep for years, creating the monstrous creatures Bauer has been fighting. With Nadia's help, they fight and survive. The ship's computer is destroyed and water floods in. Bauer and Nadia retreat into sleeping pods, and one by one, the surviving humans awaken and reach the ocean's surface. Bauer smiles, knowing the creatures are defeated and only the humans remain alive. In the final scene, the planet is shown in all its vastness, a new world ready for humanity. If you enjoyed this story, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to comment below to tell us what intrigued you the most.